here with
Ricardo Uresti. I am a middle school teacher here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Okay, so I'm going to be asking him a few interview questions. So how long have you been an educator in the RGV?
I've been an educator for 3 years at the RGV.
And how would you say your experience has been?
It's been a pleasant one. First year was rough, a lot of learning, but it's been a pleasant one.
Okay. How has the RGV's culture affected your profession in the classroom?
It's more tight-knit than probably some other cultures might be. Families are very important down here, so there's a lot of communication from as far as the parents and kids. So.
What cultural or community assets contribute to learning?
The fact that for most of the homes here, parents put education at the forefront for their kids, and that trickles into the classroom for the most part for most kids, as far as seeing them try and take advantage of their learning.
Okay, well, you answered my next question because it was about how that community strengths impact the school success. So the fact that they're putting the students' education in the forefront is successful.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. What are some individual differences you are likely to encounter among your students, such as linguistic or cultural diversity and special needs?
Oh, yeah. A classroom can be very diverse, just like the way real world is. So you have to be able to differentiate your education for them. For people that have linguistic difficulties, some kids are more auditory learners than visual. So you have to try and find ways to reach as many of them as you can, and the only way to do that is to differentiate your instruction. So make your lessons a little bit different for each and every little subgroup that you have in the classroom, once you identify them, of course.
And what's an example of how you accommodate those differences in your classroom?
I have some kids that use calculators in my classroom. Me being a math teacher. I do have some kids that use text-to-speech, so it does explain some of the word problems to them, specific keywords, right? They'll be underlined and shows them pictures, or it'll show them like different, like the definition of the word, or like different types of words that are used, like similar words. And so they use that on a daily basis in my classroom, along with their content clarifiers for some of them that need it. So yeah, you'd have to differentiate. You have to make sure, because not everybody's at the same level, nor are they ever going to be on the same level. You have to be able to do that.
So would you say that the RGV schools promote academic excellence in their students, or?
The district that I work at, yes. They strive to not only, it's not just the scores, but it's that the kids are growing, that they show improvement. So it's not necessarily whether you passed or failed for the most part, so it's not make it like that cut and dry, that black and white. They want to see the kids grow, right? Just as long as they do have growth, because they're making those little incremental growth year after year. Eventually they'll get to a good spot where they can graduate and everything and move on.
So you said that the RGV, like the families here, that they are very tight-knit, and they can the families here at the RGV, they are very tight-knit, and I would say that they pause. Hold on. Okay. So not all students are the same, and they all come from different family backgrounds, right? So what role do you believe that families should play in a student's education?
In the education, as far as academically, some families more than others are more capable, right? There are certain families that want their kids to grow, and and those parents don't necessarily have a education. There's lots of them that stopped at secondary school, 5th, 6th grade. So as far as the academic part of it, I don't really want to say that they have to carry an equal burden as a teacher. It's as long as that they're on the same page as the teacher, and that communication being open between the teacher and the parents is very important. So that way the parent's role is more of a supportive role and a guidance role where they're making sure that the kids understand that this is for them and that they need to do good for themselves, right? And to put forth effort, and then we can take care of the actual teaching itself. Because I mean, some families, I've heard some kids tell me that, oh yeah, their parents can help them with their homework, and then there's other parents that can't because they don't understand how to do the math, or they don't understand. Some of them don't know how to read. You know, it just you never know how the home environment is, and what their parents, what the education level that the parents have, right? So we don't want to really put that burden on them. It's more of a like supportive and cooperative type of endeavor more than anything else.
Right. Thank you. And how do you communicate with families or parents about their child's progress and how they can be involved?
As many ways as possible: email, phone call, text message, remind. As many ways as possible to get in touch with them, because sometimes parents, because they're busy and they have lives, I get it, are hard to get in touch with. But any way possible, whether it's email or the Remind app, which is an app that most schools use, or just calling them and texting them through your own phone.
So would you say in your classroom you have a lot of diversity within your students?
Diversity in what?
In like cultural diversity.
Cultural, not necessarily. I mean, it might have one or two outliers, but for the most part, most of them are from a similar background. Down here, as far as in the area, it's very primarily Hispanic, right? So culturally, most of them are the same. You do have some from other ethnic backgrounds and stuff like that. And those cultural differences are present in the classroom, but they're not like that common or that prevalent, right? As far as that in this area.
Okay, so then the last question: how would you foster a sense of belonging and community within your classroom and your school?
Being active, as far as the community part, being active, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom. Go to their games when they have games to play, right? Go to their extracurricular events so that they see you and they see that you're supporting them, not only when you're just because they're in your classroom, but you're also going to see them and support them on things that have nothing to do with your classroom, you know, whether it's their athletic activities or their UIL activities or anything like that. I think that would show them and give them that sense of like, oh, somebody cares, and there's that connection gets created to where they can have that sense of community in there.
Okay. Thank you for participating in my interview.
You're welcome.
Okay.